While Donald and ICE and the Department of Homeland Security continue their increasingly unconstitutional deportation push, Americans across the country are fighting back, and they're fighting smart. Resistance in the face of Donald and ICE has become crucial to stopping the kidnapping and detainment of immigrants by masked agents. And nowhere is that clearer than with the new ICE tracking app, IceBlock. IceBlock anonymously crowdsources information about ICE agent sightings to create an early warning system, according to its developer, Joshua Aaron. As of Tuesday morning, IceBlock is at the top of the App Store charts, becoming the #1 free app in the social networking category. The app's user base has exploded, jumping from 27 to 70,000 after CNN published a story about it on Monday. And of course, the Trump regime is furious. Attorney General Pam Bondi lashed out on Fox, saying, quote, "He's giving a message to criminals where our federal officers are, and he cannot do that. He better watch out because that is not protected speech," unquote. Is it not? I think Pam Bondi and I live in two completely different countries. Anyway, following the ICE arrest of Syed Nassar, a former Afghan interpreter who served along U.S. forces, more than 200 veterans have stepped up in protest. They've launched a new initiative called Battle Buddies, volunteering to attend immigration hearings with Afghan asylum seekers like Nassar, men and women who risked their lives for American troops during the war. KPBS has the story.
In the last week, more than 200 veterans have volunteered to attend immigration court alongside Afghans who worked with the U.S. during its 20-year occupation of Afghanistan.
In our most recent survey of our membership, over 72% of post 9/11 veterans believe that we need to be doing more for our Afghan allies.
Kylan Hunter is the CEO of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America.
And this isn't political, this is personal for many of us. These are the people that we served with.
The effort to recruit veterans stems from the June 12th arrest of Syed Nassar at a scheduled asylum hearing. The government moved to dismiss his case, and when he left the courtroom, ICE agents were waiting. Jessica Bradley Rushing works with Afghan EVAC, but before that, she helped run the State Department's Afghan Relocation Office during the Biden administration. She says DHS's claims that unvetted Afghans are in the U.S. aren't true.
Syed was vetted when he came across the border. But we also know that there are not a whole host of Afghans throughout the country who are here who were unvetted. Afghans who came here through Enduring Welcome are the most vetted population of immigrants in our nation's history. There are multiple rounds of vetting that take place, including before anyone was ever relocated out of Afghanistan.
So, while Donald, who is a traitor and never served his country, and in fact did everything in his power to avoid serving his country, not surprisingly turns his backs on those who aided our country in times of war, veterans won't let that happen. They're showing up in courtrooms, not just to bear witness, but to send a message: we don't abandon our own. So again, this should be a no-brainer. We promise these people who helped us at great risk to themselves and their families that we would offer them asylum if we ever needed to leave Afghanistan, which we did. And of course, the Trump regime, which values service not at all and does not understand terms like honor and decency, are leaving them in the dust. But before we go on, this is the kind of resistance Donald wants erased. We're not corporate media here at Mary Trump Media. We're not for sale, and we never will be. Every day, we try to shine a light on what the Trump regime wants to keep buried. We only survive because of you. So, if you believe in our work, please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. It's not just immigration. Across the country, Americans are pushing back against Donald's broader campaign of censorship and control, especially in schools, where I would argue censorship is at its most dangerous. Because while MAGA politicians try to rewrite history and silence queer voices in particular, some parents are turning the tables. Just last week, the Supreme Court ruled that schools must allow parents to opt their kids out of LGBTQ+ inclusive curriculum if they cite religious objections. But in Oklahoma, progressive parents are using that very same law to pull their children out of right-wing indoctrination. Superintendent Ryan Walters has imposed a social studies curriculum that promotes lies, like, for example, casting doubt on the 2020 election and declaring America a quote-unquote Christian nation, which it most decidedly is not. But there's a catch. A 2024 Oklahoma law gives parents the right to remove their kids from any lesson they deem harmful. And now a group called We're Oklahoma Education, or WOKE, clever, is encouraging parents to use that law to fight back. Another group is suing the state's curriculum on religious freedom grounds. Their lead plaintiff, Reverend Dr. Mitch Randall, put it rather bluntly, saying, quote, "As a Christian, I object to Oklahoma's new social studies standards that require teachers to deceive students by presenting inaccurate information as fact," unquote. Basically, what's happening is that people are standing up against a regime and a system that wants to render public education ineffective or worse, into propaganda machines. Our children are no longer being taught American history. They are being taught a sanitized, whitewashed version of it that is going to leave our children more ignorant and more unprepared to live in the world, and quite frankly, much, much more intolerant. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, that same spirit of resistance was delivered a major victory, with Donald and the Supreme Court chipping away at abortion rights nationwide. I would say it's more like they're taking a sledgehammer to them. The state court pushed back, and they pushed back hard. Here's CBS News correspondent Chanel Call with more.
In a 4-3 ruling this morning, Wisconsin Supreme Court's liberal majority has now struck down the state's 176-year-old abortion ban. That ban, if you do the math, was put in place back in 1849, essentially making it a felony when anyone other than the mother intentionally destroys the life of an unborn child. Today's decision, if you really water it down, means, Mugo, that 1849 abortion ban does not ban abortion. It means that 19th century state law can no longer be enforced. So elective abortion remains legal in Wisconsin now up to 20 weeks of pregnancy.
This victory is due just as much to the people pushing for it as it is to the courts. This only happened because voters made it happen. Justice Susan Crawford, part of the new liberal majority, was elected this April in the first statewide race since Donald's return to office on January 20th, 2025, and she won by nearly 10 percentage points. Voters were very clear about what direction they wanted their state to head in. They are not letting the MAGA court strip away their rights, no matter how desperately they want to. And now that organizing is paying off. Again, another reminder, our votes matter, our voices matter. The more we come together to form a formidable voting bloc, the better the chances that we will make our voices heard and get our way when it comes to enacting agendas that are actually going to benefit the American people instead of harming them. And finally, in Texas, which is a state known for GOP overreach and cruelty, it is a state, in my view, that along with Florida is at the cutting edge of fascism in this country. A single act of defiance changed the law. This was done by a woman named Summer Willis. Back in February, Willis crawled 13 miles on her hands and knees to the Texas Capitol. Bloodied and exhausted, she forced lawmakers to confront a grotesque legal loophole, because in Texas, if you were sexually assaulted while voluntarily intoxicated, the state refused to consider it rape. Summer was a victim of that injustice. 10 years ago, she was attacked at a University of Texas fraternity party after unknowingly consuming a laced drink. Prosecutors declined to press charges, not because they doubted the assault, but because they claimed she had willingly accepted the drink, although I'm guessing she did not willingly accept the drug that had been put in her drink without her knowledge. But what Summer did was not just symbolic, it actually resulted in action. Just last month, Texas lawmakers passed the Summer Willis Act unanimously, closing that loophole once and for all. That's why her fight mattered. Summer Willis did not just confront a system that failed her, she changed it through action. And in doing so, she has made the path to justice a little smoother for any survivor who comes after her. So I want to close with this, because Donald in particular, but his enablers and his sycophants and his inner circle, they all want us to feel defeated. I mean, that is part of the strategy, right? It's flooding the zone. It's continuing to create chaos and uncertainty. They want us exhausted. They want us to give up. And it seems like every week is worse somehow. But we see in instances of both individuals and groups that when we fight, we actually do make a difference, or at least we can. If we don't fight, there's no opportunity to make a difference at all. So at least fighting keeps open the possibility for real change. So with that, I would like to close out this video with the words of Rashonda Elias, who's the creator of Let's Check the Board. Please enjoy.
Today, we're here to discuss something that has a lot of you all confused, but I'm here to help. It's really very simple. Let's check the board. This is the United States of America, okay? We have about 340 million people that live here. I'm going to take out the 60 million that's over the age of 65 and the 73 plus million that's under the age of 18. I'm going to take out the 800,000 people that are police officers. I'm going to take out the 535 in Congress, the 2 goofballs in the White House, the 9 justices, and the 2 million in the military. We still have about 204 million people in this country. And you all are acting so defeated. These 535 people work for us. If you don't like them, fire them. Y'all talking about if they let us vote. If, allow, who? You all are acting like you've never had to make $1 out of 15 cents, and it shows. Y'all, we are not weak. Y'all are watching a 250-year democracy crumble for what? Get up.
Okay, I literally could not have said that better. I could not have said it as well. So my deep thanks to Rashonda Elias. I needed that, and you probably did too. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.